name is Vicki McCarty from Calico Patch Designs, and I'm here today to share with you how I design my Highland Heifers and share with you how I do Fusible. First thing I will need to do is trace my applique pieces to my Fusible, and then I will iron those to the wrong side of my wool, and then I will cut them out on the drawn lines, and then I will be ready to go to the next step, which will be placing them on my applique pressing sheets. Now I'll lay my placement pattern down. I'll put my applique pressing sheet on top of it so that I can see through it, and that will guide me as how to lay my pieces down to fuse them into one piece. So I will peel the paper off the back of my pieces as I use them. I will start with the piece that's the farthest piece away on my applique first, and I'll build my applique pieces up one at a time. So the hoof will go down first, and then I'll start building up from there. And I'll use my guide to see how to lay my pieces down exactly on top of the placement pattern. You can see here how they start to fit perfectly in place, and how the little ruffles and the little fur of the leg on the left hand side is fitting perfectly, knowing that the right hand side will be covered up with something else so that it will be underneath another piece of wool. Next, I'll just continue to keep laying my pieces up on here, building my little applique up, just one piece at a time. Now I have to go over here away from the little Buttercup, the little heifer, and start putting everything under the fence together. Because if you'll notice, the fence is actually under the right-hand side of the little cow's leg and hip there. So I will start building up the flowers and things that are on the fence, so then I can come back and build up his right leg. So you can see I added the two blades of grass that went under the fence, and I added the two boards of the fence. These were the ones that will have to be added first before we can add the right of the leg. Now I can go back and add his shoulder and the front part of his little chest there, and start building that part up, and see it will cover up the edge of the fence. Now you can see I've went ahead and added his, I'll call it his knee, and the lower part of his little leg, and his hoof down. So now that part of him is, the bottom part of the little heifer is all added and ready to fuse down. Now when I say he's ready to fuse down, what I'm trying to say is this is as far as I can go with this part. So I'm going to iron this all together with the fence and the two blades of grass, and I'm going to fuse it down with the iron and the steam, and fuse it all down into one applique, because I will be able to scoot it down on my applique pressing sheet, just pull it down, and then I'll be able to do her little face. And then I'll be able to peel her face up and then pull it back up and just put her face on top of that applique part, because I'll be able to see the face better. I'll show you here in just a second. Since part of her face was covered up with her body, whenever I fused her body together, I wanted to do the body first. So I've done it, and I've pulled my applique pressing sheet down so her body is down below. Now what I want to do is start putting her body together. So I'll start putting her ears and her nose and the pieces that are farther away down first, and start laying them all out. That way I'll make her little face as one applique too. So I'll start placing them down in order again, like we did the body. Now you can see her little face start to take shape as I put her little horns down and then put her little tuft of hair on top, and things are starting to take shape with her little face. So I decided to go ahead and add her nose and her little nostrils and go ahead and put the flowers and the little leaves on her head and build her up little pieces by little pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and fuse this together and use lots and lots of steam and go ahead and make this as one little applique. So I'm going to go ahead and fuse this together and fuse it down as to one piece. So now that I've got it all fused down as one piece, you have to let it cool before you can lift it up off of here. If I try to lift it up before it cools, it will leave the fusible onto my applique pressing sheet, and it won't have the fusible on the back anymore. So make sure you let it cool before you try to pick it up. So as you can see here, I have gently peeled up its little face into one applique now, and I'm holding it in my hand. It's still sticky on one side, and it's got all the fusible on the back of it. Now I'll turn it upside down and lay it over until I need it again to finish its face. So then I'll go on to finish the rest of its face, and then I'll bring it back when I'm done. So now I can lay this piece down that belongs under his face and know exactly where it lays, and then I can add the eyes to it before I lay the other applique down on top of it for the rest of his face. Now I can bring his head back in here and his face back in here and lay it on top of there, placing it back in on top of my placement uh, pattern and fuse it into place. Now I can place her little eyes in there and get everything situated the way I want it to be and get everything perfect. Now you can see her little face take shape. Now that I've fused it all together again, I can let it cool and gently peel the face back up. And now her little face is one applique again. So I can lay it over to the side, upside down. And again, you can see that it's still going to have the fusible on the back. You can do it as many times as you like, and it's not going to lose the stickiness. Now you'll want to go ahead and bring her little body back around and lay it on the placement on the applique pressing sheet and put it over the placement exactly like it's supposed to fit, and then bring her little head back on and place it on the placement and put it in place so that it fits exactly. Then with a hot iron, and since it's steam light too with steam, I want to fuse this all down into one piece because the face and the body and with the fence is all separate piece. So I want to fuse it down into one piece now. So I will iron it into place again on the applique pressing sheet. So here's something that I use that I always have with me for I call it in my little repair kit. The stems on my little hyacinths, for some reason, I didn't get the steam on there, and I didn't press it long enough for the fusible to stick. So I always have this 1/4 inch light steam 2 tape in my bag for the just in case something happens like this. And I'm going to show you what I like to do with it here. So with it being just 1/4 inch wide, it fits on the back of my stems perfectly. So you just tear a piece off of the roll and you place it on the wrong side, the piece of tape on the wrong side of your stems, and you just iron it in place, and it works just like the regular steam. So using my iron, again, and steam, I just iron it in place on the wrong side. It has paper on it just like the steam and I iron it right on my stems. They're already cut to size. So I just iron it. Even if there's a little bit of Fusible still stuck on there, it doesn't matter. I lay it down on there and just cover it up and iron it right into place. And as here you can see, as after it cools, that I can just rip the paper off. And again, it's just like regular steam seam too, and it's ready for me to put in place and iron down. So it's pretty cool stuff. I use it as my emergency in case a piece of steam seam comes off the corner. I'll just place a little piece on it and I'm ready to go. Okay, so you can see on this one, I've already went back and placed in all the other pieces of just the flowers and all the other leaves and such, and just went ahead and fused them all down and ironed them all in place on the applique pressing sheet. And now I'm ready to let it cool and place it down on my background. So as you can see, I have peeled it all up off my applique pressing sheet. I have laid it down in the middle of my background fabric, and I'm ready to press it down. Now, I always make my background fabric an inch or so bigger than it's supposed to be, because since I'm going to be stitching it with wool applique, I know that it's going to ravel a little bit. So I will always press it from the front side and the back side once or twice, because it's wool and it's going to take a lot to get the heat through it. So then once I do that, I'm ready to stitch. And this is what Buttercup looks like once I've got her all stitched. If you'll tune in again, I will be showing you how I stitched Buttercup, and show you different stages of how I did the stitching. If you'd like to join us for Highland Heifers, you're welcome to join us. I will give you the info in the next slide, and so you can join us and stitch along with us. Highland Heifers is a mystery stitch along, and it's a 12-month series designed by me, Vicki McCarty from Calico Patch Designs. If you'd like to join along and stitch with us, please do, and you can join us at www.calicopatchdesigns.com. We'd love to have you.